All right, but good afternoon for those of you on our YouTube platform. Bear with me for just 1 second here. We're going to get our Facebook platform brought in just a second here. I wanted to test this, and you guys can let me know what it looks like for you on your side. Would be greatly appreciated. And while we do that, we're going to get our Facebook audience set to go here. Again, bear with me for just a second. I hope everybody's having a good afternoon so far. We are going to be discussing the risk of severe weather here this afternoon in just a couple of moments. Right now, we don't have any severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings or even any kind of watch boxes at this point in time. But again, we just wanted to come live for a little bit here with you and kind of set the scene for you for the afternoon hours here today. Let's move that here. Let's bring you over here. Okay. All right, folks, stand by. We're going to get our Facebook audience in here right now. Okay. All right, YouTube folks, stand by. All right, good afternoon to you. I'm forecaster Nick Dunn here live with the Bell Park Weather Network to give you an afternoon look at our severe weather risk for this afternoon and into this evening. We do have a risk of severe weather that has recently just been upgraded to an elevated risk or a level 2 out of 5 risk. You're taking a look at the radar this afternoon. We are seeing a few thunderstorms starting to develop across east central Indiana this afternoon. Nothing severe yet, but I just wanted to come on and set the stage. I know some of you may have some afternoon plans. Maybe you're going to go outside, maybe you're going to go out for a run, or maybe you're going to go out to the grocery store or go shopping, or maybe go take a dip in the pool. You're going to want to watch for these thunderstorms to start developing here over the next couple of hours. So as we are getting more folks tuned in here this afternoon, I just wanted to kind of set the stage for you. We are live on Facebook and YouTube in case you do happen to lose one of our streams here. So we'll take a look at the radar now for you. We're going to zoom it in just a bit for you. If you do live across parts of, in particular, Wells and Adams County, we're seeing some showers and thunderstorms really starting to take shape here. And we're seeing a lot of lightning. You're seeing the count up here up over 200 strikes of lightning at this hour. That's within the last 20 minutes. But these storms are really not our main concern. I do expect more to develop as we go through the afternoon. We're just starting to warm up. That humidity, you've noticed, is likely a lot higher than it's been in recent days. And that's going to contribute to additional showers and storms developing this afternoon. I do want to show you the latest Storm Prediction Center outlook that was just issued for today. They have issued a level 2 out of 5, or as we call an elevated risk of severe weather. And I'm going to move the map just a bit here for you. So this is going to encompass a lot of central Ohio and a lot of western Ohio and into eastern Indiana and even parts of north central Kentucky. So those of you that are just to the south of the Cincinnati metro, you're going to have to contend with this afternoon. Again, right now we have no severe weather watches or warnings, but we're just kind of getting started into the afternoon here. This was just issued from the Storm Prediction Center just a few minutes ago. So I do want to look and show you the different probabilities that we have, if I can get that to pop up here. Let's look at the tornado risk. Okay, they've not elected to include that. This is kind of my first look at things too. So the wind, that's the primary threat today, is this wind. This area in yellow, that is where we have that 15% risk of wind. That area in brown, which encompasses, as I step aside just so you can see, everybody else is in that brown. That's a 5% risk of seeing damaging wind. And that's where we have that low risk of seeing severe weather this afternoon. That's for the folks that are in this darker green shade. Really, everybody in our coverage area is under some form of severe weather risk today, but we want you to be weather aware and have multiple ways to receive warnings. Now, this is all part of a larger system that is still out here across parts of Illinois and the eastern portions of the Great Plains, crossing through the Mississippi River here shortly. So we're going to have to watch that closely here and see how things evolve here through the afternoon. So again, I hope this is looking okay for everybody. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so John is telling me right now, John Tinney, who lives in Bluffton, so let's take a closer look at this. He says that they're getting absolutely dumped on right now in Wells County. Let's actually get you a lot closer in here with a look at the reflectivity from the North Webster site. There we go. And yeah, it is really coming down hard here right now in portions of Wells County. You can see here around Bluffton, we're seeing lots of showers and storms. That's right up and down the Indiana Route 1 corridor. And this is also moving over here to portions of Adams County, down into Jay County as well. And you can see the lightning just on that particular line is 178 lightning strikes. That's very impressive. And that's just within the last 20 minutes. And I'll put the radar into motion for you so you can see how these have been evolving here just in the last little bit. It'll take a second for the loop to load. But the movement of this is to the northeast. So if you are heading over towards places like Paulding and Van Wert, you're going to get in on this here pretty shortly. Again, right now it is not warned for anything severe. However, I believe I did just see a special weather statement come across. Yeah, so they did just issue a special weather statement. That's that white box on the screen. And they have this for winds up to 30 miles per hour and maybe some pea-sized hail. And again, movement is to the northeast. They have this moving at 50 miles per hour. So it is moving very quickly as this continues to move off here towards the northeast. So eventually, again, Decatur. And then over here moving towards into portions of the southeastern parts of Allen County around Hoagland and Monroeville. That's also going to be crossing US 33 and US 27 in the next few minutes as well. But John Tinney telling us in Bluffton that they are getting hit very hard. I'll turn on the roads here for you so we can kind of get a little bit of a better bearing as to where we currently stand. Again, no warnings, but wanted to come on this afternoon and kind of set the stage for you. It's about 1 o'clock here. We're approaching that 1 o'clock time frame. We said that after the 1 o'clock time frame today would really kind of start to be that area where we start to get into the better chance of seeing some of those showers and storms this afternoon. So that's a look at things. Let me look at some of your comments now on Facebook. I'm sure that there are a lot of questions out there. First of all, and this is also kind of our first test doing something in this kind of format where we actually have active weather going on. So I would really appreciate your comments. If you guys have any comments or suggestions, let us know. I see there's a couple spam comments in there as well. I'll try to get rid of those here real quick as well. And again, I apologize about that. Coming to Parkersburg, do we have a derecho? No, we're not looking at a derecho or anything of that nature this afternoon. Could the level 2 out of 5 risk be expanded? That's a great question. So again, right now, this is kind of centered in on eastern Indiana and moving into central and southern and even parts of north central Ohio. And this really actually almost goes to the I-77 corridor. I'll zoom it in for those of you down into the Middle Ohio Valley for just a second, as we are likely still, hopefully still streaming over there as well. So we have a low risk for just about everybody, but from about, I'd say near Zanesville through New Lexington down to Logan and MacArthur, that's where we have that level 2 out of 5 risk that is in our western portions of the Middle Ohio Valley County. So if you're in those locations, you're in that level 2 risk this afternoon, and that's where I am concerned, where we could see some storms organized as we get past 2, 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Damaging winds are the primary concern. I do also want to mention that the parameters are rather favorable enough today that we could also see some pockets of large hail. It could be up to quarter size, maybe slightly larger if a storm really gets intensified and gets going. So that'll be something we have to kind of keep our eyes on here just over the next few hours. Again, looking at some of your comments here. Joe, you like this format. That's fantastic. I greatly appreciate that. And I know that there's some additional spam comments out there, so I apologize. I'm not sure if any of our other team members are on and looking right now, but I am working on these the best that you can. So Tuscarawas County, yes, you are in a low risk. I'll kind of zoom it back to the east a little bit as well. So Tuscarawas County up and down that I-77 corridor this afternoon, we do have a low risk of seeing severe weather. So from Cleveland down to Parkersburg, we're in that low risk. If you're up to the far north, Toledo, Sandusky, over towards places near, it's going to be near Akron and Canton, over down to Wheeling, you're in a low risk. But this area in yellow, that's our primary concern. So Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati, that's 3 major metropolitan areas that are in this risk this afternoon. Delaware, Lima, Marion, down to Chillicothe, and also down through Cincinnati as well. That's where we have that level 2 risk. And now we're starting to see some development take place just to the north of Richmond, and also we may be starting to see some development taking place across parts of the Miami Valley here shortly. So we'll kind of be prepared for that over the next few minutes, and we'll see how things evolve. Right now, no severe weather alerts. We also have a couple storms that are exiting Ohio, exiting out of Williams and Fulton counties off to the north and east. Those are moving away from us at this point in time. But that's just kind of the way the stage is setting up right now. I do want to tell you that it is very humid. I mentioned that this afternoon. Let's look at our dew points. I'll stop the map here so we can kind of look. Our dew points this afternoon, it's been a while since we've seen these kind of dew point readings in the 60s to around 70. You're going to step outside this afternoon if you haven't already today, and you've likely noticed that that humidity is definitely on the elevated side. And so we are even seeing some pockets of low 70s down towards Cincinnati and northern Kentucky. That's when it really just starts to get downright miserable to be outside. And we add in the temperatures that we have out there this afternoon. And this is the other key here that kind of is playing a big factor in this. Fort Wayne, by the way, is down to 66 with that thunderstorm coming through nearby. It's 84 in Toledo, 82 in Columbus, and 86 down in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and right there on the Ohio River. So we're in the low to mid 80s. There's still some pockets of 70s. And the reason for that is we do have some pockets of cloud cover, and this is obviously going to be an interesting kind of trend to watch. So here's a look at the satellite over top of all this. I'll turn the temperatures off for you. And you can see we do have some pockets of sunshine this afternoon across Ohio, even into eastern Indiana. So that should be enough to get fuel up and going. That gets the instability up, and that should allow for additional showers and storms to continue to develop this afternoon. Northeast Ohio is mostly sunny. There's just some high thin clouds passing by, and that will, again, the longer that you're sunny, the longer that you have more sun, that will allow for the fuel to build, and we could see additional showers and storms. Now, I know there were some questions about, will the risk expand? Or could it do that? It's very possible that it could. This is just, I think, an early look at where the Storm Prediction Center thinks the greatest risk of seeing severe weather may be for this afternoon and evening. They've got it kind of centered on the Wilmington office, if you will, so parts of Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati, Bellefontaine up to Lima, Wapakoneta, Salina, and everywhere in between there. It's where we have the elevated risk or a level 2. If we see that trends change a little bit and maybe the better storms organize a little further to the north, then this risk could easily be shifted a little further to the north and east to include places like Akron and Canton. But to really kind of sit back and try to decipher exactly what's going to happen, we got to kind of sit back and just watch and wait and see. So that's kind of where things are right now. And again, we're starting to see just a little bit of development there just to the north of Richmond, Indiana, and also we're seeing just a couple little blips starting to pop up in Union County and even into Hardin County as well. So we're going to start to see that development. Then we're getting into the afternoon. That's when these air mass thunderstorms start to really get going. But obviously right now our strongest storm by far is here in Bluffton, Indiana, and this is really growing very quickly. And in fact, as we zoom it in a little bit tighter for you, so there's US 224 that runs from north of Bluffton over to Decatur and eventually over to Van Wert. This is a very intense thunderstorm, lots of lightning, very heavy rain, and you're even seeing some purple starting to pop up. Let's turn on the hail tracker and see if there's any hail associated with this storm whatsoever. And yeah, in fact, the radar algorithm is actually suggesting that there is severe hail falling at this point in time. I think that's a little hot, if you will. What I mean by that is I think the algorithm might be just a little bit on the hot side, a little bit on the high side. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do have some small hail falling in eastern Wells County and also in the northern Adams County. You see those two green triangles on the screen there? That's an indication of where we could see some of that hail falling. It's where we have those purples also showing up on the radar as well. We'll zoom it out just a bit for you. Also here into Jay County, seeing some indications that there could be some hail just to the southwest of Portland. That's going to be down there towards Red Key and Dunkirk, and that will continue to move off to the northeast as well. I'll put a track on a couple of these here for you in just a second. See if I can get that to come up here. There we go. And we will take a look at our tracking tool, and if I can get this to move along here, let's see if it wants to work for me today. It may not. There we go. So this particular thunderstorm here, if we were to track this, you have to bear with me, I have to reset the map here just a little bit. We'll draw it as a little bit of a line, and again, this is moving pretty quickly here to the northeast at speeds of upwards of 50 miles per hour. So if we put this kind of down the line here for you a little bit, and I know that this may not be the exact track or the exact location and the exact speed, but we're looking at New Haven, Geneva, Bern, Decatur, Woodburn, Hicksville, Antwerp, and Paulding. That's also moving through the 1:30 time frame, and it's currently 1:05. So that's just within the next half hour. It should be sweeping through there. Down the line, Delphos, Defiance, Stryker, Archbold, and Holgate before 2 o'clock. So that continues to move off towards the northeast. May also cross US 24 eventually down the road, and also crossing US 127 as well. So just something to kind of keep in mind here with you through the afternoon hours as we continue to track these showers and storms with you. But obviously, again, right now our strongest storm here into Wells and Adams County. And again, according to John Tinney, who lives in Bluffton, he says getting just absolutely torrential downpours and very heavy rain. He's not mentioned anything about wind at this point in time, but I would imagine if there was anything of that caliber going on, he would certainly let us know. Let me look at some of your comments here. Trying to answer as many as we possibly can. Let's see here. Can you check velocity for rotation? Yeah, rotation's really not our concern this afternoon, but the velocity product does show where we could have some of those stronger wind gusts right in between Bluffton and Decatur, right in this area where those brighter reds are occurring. That's telling us where we could be seeing some of those stronger wind gusts. And right now we're talking 30, maybe 40 miles per hour at this point in time. If you're watching us over on YouTube as well, good afternoon. Comments here. Good afternoon. What are we looking at? What do we want to, let's see, what we want to see, but this usually happens. Okay, oh, so you're saying this is not what you want to see. It's the weekend. This is really not a great timing for thunderstorms. Obviously, everybody probably has some outdoor plans. School's kind of getting back in session, so if this was your first week for kids to be back in school, you may want to get out and try to enjoy a little bit of summer that's left. Obviously, and it really does not quite feel like the dog days of summer. Some places today it might, but those dew points in the 60s and 70s, it's adding some humidity. But we're not seeing the 90-degree temperatures today, and we should stay out of the 90s due to that cloud cover that should be kicking in here shortly. So let's see what else we've got here. Look at some more of your questions and comments as well. If you guys want the Ohio News and Weather YouTube page, let us know. We'll be more than glad to comment with that for you. And those of you that are sending stars on Ohio News and Weather, we really, really appreciate that so much. And again, we're going to continue to keep an eye on this. And one other thing too, with this kind of layout that we have here, I've implemented a green screen, doing some different things here with you. This now allows me to kind of show you things in a little bit of a different manner, and allows me to communicate things. And plus, you can kind of put a face to the name here, if you will, and we can kind of just show you different things. We can even have other team members doing different things now kind of behind the scenes as well, and kind of allows me to just stand here and tell you exactly what we're seeing, where we're seeing it. I know a lot of you may learn visually, and you may enjoy this type of format a little bit easier than what we are kind of used to. So again, we're still tweaking this, we're still working on it, doing different things, so just kind of bear with us. We continue to work on this. We'll continue to make it as best as we possibly can. Let me look at some more of your comments here. Let's take a look at some of our other pages this afternoon as well. I don't want to miss anybody. Holmes County, yes, you're in the low risk at this point in time. Nelsonville, let's zoom it out back again. We'll kind of give you a wider view of the severe weather risk once again. Nelsonville, you're not quite in the elevated risk per se, but you are pretty close. Eventually, this, and really here's kind of the key for the rest of the afternoon as well, as these continue to move off towards the north and east. We'll see additional development. I think a lot of us are going to get rain today. Maybe not every single one of you, but a lot of us are going to get some rain today. I could use some rain at my house here in Columbus. I don't know about the rest of you, but we could certainly use some rain out there. Okay. Well, guys, again, right now, I don't have a whole lot of other information to pass along to you. Obviously, I'm watching this storm in Wells and Adams County at this point in time. We'll see if it continues to intensify. And in addition to today's severe weather outlook, while I have everybody here, we do have a risk for severe weather tomorrow as well. This is not just a one day and it's done. Tomorrow's risk, and this map was as of 2 o'clock this morning. We still have a low risk of seeing severe weather tomorrow, but the difference, according to the Storm Prediction Center, between today and tomorrow is this. And that is a 2% tornado risk is in effect for places like Akron, Columbus, down to Portsmouth, and even also over towards places like McConnellsville, Zanesville, and Cambridge, and New Philadelphia. We'll see if this is going to change. The next update comes out at 1:30, but I'm not going to focus too much on tomorrow's risk at this point. Obviously, the main concern now is going to be today's risk. Now, the hail risk for today actually did not get bumped up to an elevated risk. I thought maybe it would, but the hail is kind of still in a low category. We could see some isolated quarter-sized hail, maybe some slightly larger hail if a very large multicellular storm were to develop, but our main risk is obviously going to continue to be those damaging wind gusts that will carry with us through the afternoon and potentially even into the evening hours. Again, we're starting to see just a little bit more development to the north of Richmond, also a few blips across the Miami Valley, but at this point in time, I don't have anything else to share with you. So I'm watching everything here for you. We'll come back live here on Facebook and YouTube throughout the afternoon as necessary. I appreciate you watching. I'm forecaster Nick Dunn reporting.